Back to Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode, as you can see, we got our oil boiler made. We do have 60-ish days we need to wait before it can be tested to make sure it works. I've got a feeling it might need a slight modification, which if it does, it's probably just going to be adding a block here or shortening it up here. But we'll have to see. It kind of depends on how we have to manipulate it to make the magma flow how we want it to flow. But while we wait, we can either work on trying to get this geoheat pump up and running, which would involve us having to dig down at least into here and set up a small steam turbine power system and get this unblocked, or we can ignore all that and come up here to the base and actually improve things for our dupes, like better bedrooms, maybe build a nature reserve. And I know I just said build a nature reserve. We do have a mod installed that allows us to build natural tiles down here. So, but yeah, we can pretty much pick anything we want, make a natural tile. I was playing this game before they added the rooms and the nature reserves and whatnot, so I definitely forget to build them or plan for them sometimes. So this mod is a lifesaver for me. Me and Jerry just kind of pick whatever we want and build it out of that. I generally tend to go for granite just because it makes things look nicer. And I do believe we actually have to not have anything in the way, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And then the dupes will just come down and build a granite section. So what we're going to do is we are going to make an area that is specifically just for the dupes to walk through, and they're going to have to walk through it to go in and out. And it looks like 90% of our dupes go out the airlock, so forcing them to go in and out of a nature reserve will pretty much guarantee that most of them are always getting a high morale bonus. So we do need to make a few little changes, primarily to this. Oh yeah, I noticed at the end of the last episode, as you can tell, we have 15 kilograms of oxygen in the base. That is, a little over 7 times more oxygen than what we really need. I know how it happened. I don't know why it happened, but I know how it happened. So what happened was something melted here, created a little bit of water, which then caused the oxalate that falls here to no longer be considered overpressurized because it was covered in just enough liquid, and it kept off-gassing. So we have a just massive amount of oxalate that just decided to off-gas into the base. So we're good on not needing oxygen in the base for a pretty long time. It happens. It is what it is. It could have been worse. We could have no oxygen. But yeah, no, so that's what we're going to do. So we are going to rip up all these tiles, and we are going to build our own little nature reserve. think we'll build a second one. I'm not sure where. We'll build it somewhere between like the new place that we put all the bedrooms and like leaving the bedrooms. So when they go to sleep, when they come out, they'll have to go through it, and we'll build like some sort of like little section somewhere that like they'll have to go through. I'm thinking over here, actually. What I'm thinking about doing is replacing our little rec room over here with a nature reserve that forces them to come up and then go through. Yeah, we might push the rec room up here instead and then put the bedrooms behind it with like some air tile shenanigans to let the air flow around but still access to the base and stuff. I mean, we'll get it figured out. But let's get to making those natural tiles first. We do need to separate that. And then we need to pick our natural tiles with granite. Actually, I think we'll hold off on building these ones for now, just so that way they can get the granite to build these tiles. Alright, there you go. Now we have a whole bunch of natural granite. And then we'll have to just go kidnap a little pip and make it plant plants down here for us. I pick gas pipes and not power wires. Okay, power wires. And gas pipes we're going to cancel. Okay. But yeah, no, we are going to try to make our dupes a little bit happier. It's 120 tiles. So, okay, yeah, so we put some doors right here. That will give us our best maximum size. And then we just want to try to maximize the amount of plants we can get in there. Set up a critter drop off real quick. And what, a little storage container for some seeds. Oh, we do have a blueprint. Do we want to use the mush green? Maybe for a different build, since we have it. Now, the only problem with the natural tiles is if we gotta make any changes, we technically gotta dig it up and then, you know, re-put it back down. So we better hope that we don't need to make any more changes in this area over here. We're gonna be rebuilding this natural nature reserve a couple of times, but I think we're good for the most part. We want seeds, and what we really want is it the Idalia seeds? I think it's the Idalia seed. Yeah, I think it's this one, because that should be these plants up here. Oh yeah, no, see, they would be fine if there wasn't too much pressure. -70 to 5, yeah, that's exactly what we want. Okay. And then we want little pips. Yeah, pip, right here. We want pip. We want a maximum of 1. Alright. And then we need to go find a pip. Here's a pip. Wrangle said pip. Oh, we do have some cuddle pips up here. Okay, cool. Cool. What do they... Okay, so they're like critter ranchers when they like go up and hug them. Okay. I mean, those are kind of useful. I mean, I guess you just throw them in here and just kind of let them mass produce critters. That sounds a bit... Oh. Ooh. Oh, I bet it's probably wrong element damage from the wrong stuff got in here. Okay, yeah. That's okay. This is still working. That's still working. We still have a long ways away. Alright, and we still need to make some water. Alright. Yeah, it's kind of, I think, our biggest holdup right now is just proper liquid water. It's like the only place we're actually getting liquid water is over here for our sleet wheat and spam. So I'd rather not steal our water from here. So we'll have to come up with a different way of getting water down there to the oil biome. Oh yeah, look at the pip go. It's already putting flowers down. Alright, so we can tear that up. And then we can put a nature reserve sign. Where is that in furniture? I think it's in furniture. Furniture, puck sign. Alright. And this should eventually become a nice little park area. I think the only thing it's missing is, yeah, wild plants. Is what size is a park? 64 with 2 plants. because we're over that, we go to the nature reserve, but it's +6 or +3. Okay, so we get double. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, this is definitely gonna be worth it. There's 3 plants. Oh, how many of those seeds do we have? I guess we should look. Let's look. That's something else we can make for them is clothes. I know it's been almost 600 cycles, and we probably should have made them warm coats a long time ago. But as you can see, we have 109 units. We should be able to easily produce the proper amount of stuff for them. We're looking for. I want to keep track of these 2 things. What else do we want to keep track of? None of that. None of that. Right here. Okay, alright, so we have 40 seeds. Perfect. So we don't have to worry about anything else. Let's just put that to priority 6. We are slowly depressurizing. So that's good. And what, all 40 of them are probably in there? Perfect. Say 1 kilogram a piece. And now we can deconstruct that. And now hopefully that little pip should get that made, and we should have a nature reserve. And it should help massively boost everybody's morale. So if I remember, yeah, I mean, we don't quite have. We have decent morale, but not like me as just what they need. We kind of want to push past that. Yeah, so we turn this into the next nature reserve. We'll have to relocate this power. We're just thinking of a way of how to get like nails and Stinky the 6 morale. I mean, do they really need it though? I mean, they're already 12 above what they need. And then they'll get a boost from having their own bedroom. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do know we should probably build the clothing. So let's build all the extra little stations we don't have. So we need that. Put that in the back. The text tomb, and then refresher in there. That should be that room. So I think we're going to relocate the massage room down here. And then bring our hospital. We want to bring the hospital up more. Yeah, bring the hospital up to here. Massage room here. Seal this off. Okay, yeah, alright. I'll be back in a moment. I'll do a little bit of planning and I'll show you what I'm going to do a little bit of planning. I'm going to show you guys what I came up with. Okay, so this is pretty much what I've come up with so far. Is we have our little nature reserve that they come through, and then we have a rec room. I'm not sure what to do with this. This might be a bedroom. It might be just a pure massage parlor. I haven't quite decided yet. And then we have our bedrooms. They are the minimum size of like 24, just for convenience. But yeah, no, this should be pretty much cover most of our dupes' needs. And then back in the back where there's a little extra room, I decided to put little mini massage parlor rooms on each sides of the bedrooms, kind of in the back. Which is why I'm not sure what to do with this, because we technically have 6 little mini massage parlors for the dupes to go into. So I'm not exactly sure what to do with this. I know there's other rec things that we can use, but some of them are kind of hot. And I was thinking about making them down here by the steam. Mostly the, what is it? Is it medicine? No. Furniture. Where? The sauna. I was thinking about using this near here and putting like a steel gas pump in here and pump steam into this and have like a little sauna hot room area, and then maybe have like a little jacuzzi too down here near the hot water, the hot tub. Yeah, because this requires like hot water. So we got a little bit of copper. I'd probably rather use that, and then have like this like little like hot water relaxation room down here for the dupes to use, and kind of just tap into this here, because then we can use the hot water coming out of the steam turbine. Instead of dumping it directly into here, we could pump it through the hot tub and then dump it in here. And then we could also steal the steam and put it in here. But I believe this has to be a certain temperature for most of this to work. So I'm not sure, but we'll have to decide on that later. But right now, I want them to get their new bedrooms built. So that way, you know, we can really crank up that morale. But yeah, okay, so I will be back once they get this all built. Alright, so I'm back. I have this mostly built for the most part. They just have to kind of get it all swept up and finish a small little few minor touches with the statues and whatnot. But yeah, no, as you can see from our room layouts, we have luxury barracks. Why is this a barracks and not a private bedroom? Okay, so we have to put back wall tiles in each one. Well, I mean, luxury barracks is still better than a normal barracks, so... Okay. So where is back walls? Is that base? Yes, drywall. So let's put drywall. Oh. Do you want to just be kind of lazy and give everybody wood paneling? We're using granite, right? Yep, okay. Yeah, so we're just going to give everybody wood paneling. If I would have realized we needed background tiles, I would have done that also. So that was my bad. But you know, it's still better bedrooms. Still a morale boost. As you can see, we have somebody who is just for some reason cannot be happy and is just stressed out. I think it's Mia, and she's got 90% stress. Everybody else kind of doesn't care. Everybody else is just like, yep, this is fine. For some reason, she's super sensitive. Surprised she lasts this long. But with these finishing touches of putting some paneling up, it should give us private bedrooms for each dupe to get a +3 to morale. And then if we run some power, which I think we'll just steal from our kitchen. And that should power all the massage tables and everything. Okay, so I've gotten nature reserves for improved morale. We have better bedrooms for improved morale. Better health care. That's what we need. All right. So we're gonna put the outhouse here. We're going to put... What do we need to make a hospital? Is this a hospital? Is it just metal equipment, toilet, dining room? Okay. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3 triage. And 2 of those. 2 of those. 1 of these. 1 of those. Some air tile. Did we? I did. Son of a... Alright. I wasn't trying to rip up piping. And then food. Where is our mess tables? Yep. Alright. So those can all be crammed in there. Actually, no, apparently we need to set these all to, what, at least a 7? So we don't set it to a 7, they don't clean them out. They get distracted with other stuff. Okay. Now let's check. Private bedroom. Luxury barracks. Okay, yep, no, perfect. It's way better. Otto, don't you have a warm jacket? Once we get everybody warm jackets, they'll be all set. Man, it is taking them a while to do just by. I mean, I know they got some build commands and stuff, but it shouldn't take them that long to like mop. So everybody almost everybody has a warm jacket at this point. There you go. Is this one assigned? Yes, this one is assigned. Okay, there. Hopefully, they should start to stop being cold. Complain about being cold. Alright, there we go. That should be most of that done. This is all done. Okay, all the bedrooms seem to be done. That's done. Alright. Apparently the game has glitched out. Even though those should have been perfectly valid spots, the game decided to say no. Oh, my eyes. It's so aggressively green. Okay, there. Now I'm done melting my eyeballs and your eyeballs out by doing decorations. And they should be super happy in there. As we click on that, that should be like, yeah, maximum decor. They're just getting, when they're sleeping, they should be getting maximum decor buff, even like regardless of what's going on. Oh, we could. That's okay. That's what we're going to do down here. That's another way we can buff this down here. I didn't even think about that. But then again, I kind of didn't think about drywall as like a decoration. Where? No, it's utilities? Utilities. No. Base? Base. What do we want to put down here? Yeah, I'll go with the icy panel just to drive home that we are definitely in the cold. It should, in theory, make it a little bit more pleasant down here. And we have a ridiculous amount of granite, so I don't think it really matters too much. Okay. I should make that area a little bit more palatable to the duplicates. Just like for them to kind of get things cleaned up and stuff, so we're not going to do any more building or anything for the moment, so it's just going to be kind of a hurry up and wait moment for them to finish getting those power lines put in for the massage tables and then get everything swept and mopped up. So once they get that swept, mopped, cleaned up and whatnot, I will be back. So we are running out of power. And power's been kind of our main problem for ever, basically. It's like every time I turn around and try to solve power, the game's like, no, try something else. No, try something else. And it's getting a little annoying. We can either get solar power, or we can use ethanol. And we can burn ethanol in our petroleum generators down here. I'm leaning towards solar power. Simply because I feel like it would probably be a little bit more consistent. And we need the ethanol to feed the bandits. So I'm thinking we need solar panels. Which, it's not a whole lot of power, but, you know, it's more power than what we have right now. And the biggest issue is we need this thing up and running. Because it needs sand. Actually, we could put this here. Put a storage bin down. And have them install sand there. How is this looking? Is this looking any better? I mean, it's still pretty shit, but it's not completely horrible. Yeah, and then just for future reference, how big is... Okay, it's just as tall as these ones. I was thinking about maybe switching over to metal blocks, but I wanted to get to space first and fiber. So that way when we made them, we could get a bonus to the decor. But that doesn't appear to be working. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to have them focus on making us some glass so we can make some solar panels. I feel like that's the next move. Because as you can see, we have 7 dupes. They have a bunch of high stress. Now the thing is they do have a really high morale. They have like double morale. But the problem is, sorry about that, is the popped eardrums. This is just killing us. The reason why I popped eardrums is we're 7 kilograms over what we need for air. I have thought about pumping it into some gas tanks down here in the bottom of the base, or venting it out through like one of our exhaust vents down here, because we could hook up a couple gas pumps up here and build a bridge over the natural gas. Actually, we're not making frost burgers or anything right now, are we? So we could cut that, and that should backfeed that in there. Okay. It's a little bit of power. It's more power than we had. And then venting out the extra gas that way. That would probably be the best way. So if we can get them to quit having popped eardrums, and they'd stop being stressed. But I was just kind of being lazy about dealing with the oxygen. So I was like, it is what it is. But they definitely, the dupes clearly do not agree with me on that one. It appears to be, it doesn't matter how high I make the rail, they're not happy about having popped eardrums. Which, I mean, it's understandable. So realistically, make this like a 7, and it can hold, let's say, 5,000. And sand. Somebody needs to come up and apply my settings. I don't remember dupes having to do that. I could have sworn that was kind of like immediate. Okay, I mean, that's fine. That is something we need to do, is get more automation, like the Mammoth patties brought down, and a few other things. I mean, we got 6 tons of ceramics, so, hooray on that. But, we really need those Mammoth patties getting crushed. Oh, let's put this back to a 6. That's why this wasn't getting done. Alright. I mean, table salt? We can probably turn this off for right now, right? How much table salt do we got? Let's look. Table salt. We have 45 grams of it. Okay. That's fine. We'll turn that off. I'm not worried about them having table salt right now. It's the least of my worries. We're getting a little bit of coal. We're getting a little bit of power. we're getting some steel. I'm just kind of looking at what we're working with over here. Let's see, can we find a nice, here's a nice clean spot. We can mostly see our list of resources. It's a nice amount of aluminum. We might turn that off, but I doubt it. It's plenty of diamond. We have a reasonable amount of lime. We got a reasonable amount of iron and iron ore. Actually, we have an unreasonable amount of iron ore. If we had some power, we would be swimming in iron ore. Here's our volcano. We currently have like 4 tons of iron ore here, sitting at like 1,000 degrees. So, I mean, if we had some power and we could just keep turbines cool, we'd be killing it. What is that? Is that what our system is missing? I think maybe that's what the system is missing. Is realistically, we should probably have like this same thing going on in here. And once it reaches like below, like, let's say 190 degrees Celsius, then it gets spit out into here. Maybe we'll rework that. Just definitely feel like we could get better efficiency out of this. Like, this thing should pretty much be running these steam turbines at like maximum power pretty much almost all the time. So yeah, I feel like this is not the way down here. So let's make this quick change. I mean, it's not gonna be quick because dupes are annoying, but still, let us relocate that here. Yeah, so we're gonna rework this. I'm gonna get this laid back out, and I will see you guys in a moment after I get this relayed out and reworked. Hopefully we can suck out more heat and get more power out of this thing, and maybe it'll give us a little bit of a trickle of power to help limp us along until things get turned on. Because if I remember correctly, we still have roughly 30, here it is, 30 days. Yes, we got about 30 more cycles to go before that comes on, and this has also another like 30 cycles. So our natural gas and our volcano are going to basically come on at the same time. But I will be right back after I rework our volcano tamer to be a little bit more efficient. Okay, so I've ultimately decided to just kind of push into the geothermal heat pump idea because we need power to make glass, and we don't have enough power to make glass to make solar panels. So, but we do already have a fair amount of plastic made and some aluminum to make geothermal power with steam turbines and steam. So that's going to be our plan, is we're going to push into renewable energy. So we need to essentially prepare this geo vent for power and whatnot. Oh, that's going to be pleasant. Not really, but I mean, this is super hot here. Oh, alright. looks like we can get in right around in here. But the real thing is like we kind of just need to build a proper box around it. Okay, I'm gonna lay this out and I'll be back. Okay, so after some contemplating and whatnot, this is going to be our layout for the geothermal power. It's going to be a total of 10 steam turbines, 6 up on top and 2 here in kind of like the middle sides. I do feel like this should probably maximize the steam turbine or the geo vent. I believe that, more than 10, I don't think it can sustain. I'm not even sure if it can even do 10. I'm pretty sure it can do at least 6. So the main idea is to at least have these top 6 and then add these 4 on the sides later. But this is ultimately going to be our layout. And we're going to, same thing we normally do. We'll fill this with hydrogen. And this will be filled with steam. Oh, we need to make it. Okay, yep, no. I'm glad my brain thought that out a little bit more. We need to make this a double lock, so we need like a little vacuum separation from the steam and the hydrogen, so the steam isn't dumping all the heat back into here. But no, this is ultimately just going to be our layout. This is what we're going to go with. I'm going to get the dupes to build it up. I think I'm going to go with a montage this time and just do like a speed build with it. So I am going to get that started and I will see you guys after that. Turbines on it, but I think we need to build this one also. So let's get that done, because we clearly can't fire it up because it won't let us. I think it's because we didn't pump hot oil into it. So give me one moment and we'll get this one also laid out. want this one to be water. Water. And we want this one to be crude oil. Okay, there we go. It's fine. They don't need to last for that long. We don't have access to steel right now. We're out of I think we're out of iron. Let me check my resources. Yeah, we're out of iron, which, I mean, we do have almost 100 tons of iron ore again. We could start building more iron again in the refineries. I am replacing oh, that's where we're getting all of our iron is. I'm replacing all of our regular heavy watt wire with the heavy watt conductive wire. So I'm replacing our heavy watt wire with heavy watt conductive, and I'm using primarily lead. For the most part, it shouldn't melt in majority of the places we're using it, so it should be fine as an alternative. If we do have any places where it does seem to want to melt, we'll just swap it out for iron or aluminum or some other better refined metal. So, but yeah, no, yeah, we're just basically waiting for this to get vacuumed out. And then we need to prime this with some crude oil. I'd say at least 4 blocks worth, four tiles worth. And once we get 4 tiles worth of crude oil, then we'll be ready to cycle our system. So, but until then, we just need to get this all made up right here. That's fine. It still needs power. It's that's the liquid pipe we're waiting on. Okay. Alright, well, yeah, I will check back in with you guys as soon as we're able to fire that one, either the petroleum boiler or the... Alright, so I have our systems kind of jerry-rigged up a little bit to get them working so we can limp ourselves into a more functional state. We have some steel pipes and water filters and stuff down here to filter out the garbage liquids at the bottom of the map. We have fresh water being pumped into our only working oil well right now, which is then dumping oil down here for us to pump all the way over to our boiler, which we are now actually getting to fill up. So we are very close to testing the boiler and getting a significantly more consistent power source. We are still waiting for this thing to vacuum itself out, so we will be getting the oil boiler up and running before we get the geo pump up and running. And it looks like this is nice and done. But yeah, no, we want about 4 tiles worth of oil, just so we can soak any heat it might get shocked with, because it tends to kind of be a bit fast at first once it all kind of gets up and running. But once it does get up and running, it tends to be a bit more of a smoother process. But we're basically going to be shocking the system with heat. And last thing we want is for this tile to be like, 800 degrees. That's how you get sour gas in your boiler by accident, is by not priming this with oil first. So we want, we're going to want to wait until there's about another 800 kilograms in there. And let's see, I would say right about there's good. So we can chop that right there for now. Let's see, make sure it doesn't overflow too much. Honestly, that was almost perfect for the most part. Good. Yeah, that was virtually perfect. Okay, so give it a kick, it catches, bam. Alright, and this heats up, this heats this up. Crude oil is starting to heat up. Yeah, no, it looks like it's working. And as soon as this erupts again, we'll actually have more than one shot ready. Current temperature is 1,000. Yeah, it's really cranking up our diamond right here, which is cranking up the door, which is getting this up pretty high. So we just gotta wait for the crude oil to get caught up, basically. This always takes a minute. We don't want to rush it. This is definitely one of those times when you just want to be chill. Just want to be chill with it. No need to rush it. I do feel like those would help. I don't feel like temperature shift plates are mandatory, but I do feel like they kind of help a little bit. That's something we can get in there later. Oh, there it goes. Oh. No crude oil, no. You're supposed to boil. I was expecting it all to crude oil right here. Like, what's going on right now? Oh. Yeah, no, the crude oil. I do like that. It gets. You're shit. Well, there. That's why I like the temperature shift plates, just in case we get little pieces of igneous rock like that. It'll still pull the temperature out of it. We'll scoop that little bit away. Okay, well, I mean, it works. We just need more magma, which will be in like 9 cycles. So, once we get 9 cycles, we should hopefully be able to fix the system. And our only other real option would be to like dump igneous rock into the magma so it melts. But we don't want to take this out and go around, because we try going around with it, it's just going to cause problems. Oh, I know what we could do. We could deconstruct that and then move this igneous rock on top of the tile. That's what we're going to do. We can do that. Yeah, no, we're just going to jury rig everything. Just want to get some oil boiled, man. Get some power. Alright, and now we sweep that on like a do it now. Hurry up, hurry up. Come on, dupes, hurry up. Somebody come and get it. Oh, please tell me somebody's coming and getting it. Somebody is. Oh, good. Okay. And now relocate there on a do it now. Basis. So it showed somebody coming to do it. Yeah, right there. Okay. Why is this not... This shouldn't be getting colder. Are the shift plates actually messing it up? Yeah, let's deconstruct those. I think those are messing it up. I might have been wrong. I could have sworn those helped, but... right now. Okay, we'll have to look at that stuff. Okay, they're going up now. Seems to be climbing. Okay, good. Well, I guess that's what I get for messing with it, trying to make it better. Just made it worse. Okay. Well, it is what it is. This is getting pumped up. Alright, well. I think we're going to call it a day on this episode because it's just taking too long to get all this stuff up and running. And we'll get it all up and running in the next episode. So, stay tuned. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.